Logan.
I'm Lauren.
Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic, the science of attraction. Attraction isn't just about physical looks. It's a complex, multifaceted experience shaped by biology, psychology, and even personal history. Science distinguishes attraction from love, explaining it as an initial pull, something that sparks connection or interest, often based on factors we're not fully conscious of. Together, we'll unpack what really draws people together and explore how these subtle signals impact our romantic lives. So let's look beyond appearances and discover the layers that make attraction so intriguing. Let's get started on today's topic. In romantic attraction, our brains play a huge role, driven by a powerful cocktail of chemicals that influence how we feel and act around someone special. First, there's dopamine, often called the feel-good chemical. When we're attracted to someone, dopamine surges, giving us that rush of excitement, energy, and pleasure, just being around or even thinking about them. It's part of why early love can feel so exhilarating and almost addictive. Then, there's oxytocin, known as the bonding or cuddle hormone. Oxytocin is released through physical touch. Think hugs, cuddling, and intimacy, which helps deepen feelings of trust and attachment. This hormone really kicks in as a relationship progresses, nurturing that sense of closeness and security. Serotonin also has a hand in attraction, though its role can be a bit unexpected. Early stages of attraction can actually lower serotonin levels, leading to that obsessive feeling where we just can't stop thinking about that person. So while serotonin is often linked to mood stabilization, in the context of love, it can spark those moments of fixation and longing. Finally, adrenaline. When we feel those butterflies, that's adrenaline pumping. It heightens arousal and sensitivity, making us more aware of every word, touch, or look. These chemicals together create a kind of emotional whirlwind, guiding us through attraction and laying the foundation for deeper, lasting bonds. What are your thoughts?
That's crazy. I never thought love was that specific or like deep. Usually I just think it's just, butterflies and boom, that's my little crush. I got a crush on this guy. That's it.
Yes. Honestly, I can definitely understand the oxytocin and definitely, dopamine. I've heard of that one before. That happy chemical. I definitely feel like those kind of chemicals in our body definitely cause attraction.
Definitely. I didn't know, it kind of gave a sense of, security or more attraction to that person just by hugging them or just... Yeah. Pheromones and scent play surprisingly powerful roles in attraction, often without us even realizing it. Pheromones are chemical signals that our bodies release, and while humans don't detect them consciously, they can subtly influence our feelings towards others. They're part of an ancient biological system that signals everything from fertility to compatibility, almost like nature's way of giving us hints about who we might be drawn to. Then there's scent, which is personal and unique. Research shows that we can be unconsciously attracted to somebody based on their natural smell alone. A person's scent can reveal genetic information, which might explain why we're sometimes instinctively attracted to certain people but not others. Essentially, these biological cues play a role in sparking attraction by signaling compatibility, even if we can't pinpoint exactly why we're drawn to someone. In both cases, it's fascinating to think that while we might be focusing on things like appearance or personality, our attraction can be influenced by factors that are totally invisible and beyond our awareness. So the next time you feel that unexpected pull towards someone, it might be the chemistry, literally. What are your thoughts?
Okay, not gonna lie, I've heard about the scent part, and I believe in that because I really do feel like if you're attracted to someone, and we are mammals, so, of course, over, evolution and stuff like that, we have become more, We've become more...
We share the same habits.
Yeah, we share the same habits when it comes to scent. It's not very, we can see with our eyes or anything, but it's very subtle. Like, when we are attracted to somebody specifically, they smell a certain way to us, and that's what we're attracted to. We're just like, okay, that's my mate. It's going to be nobody else. No, like, that's why I'm just like, I can't really, like, you know who your mate is. And you can just, like, we probably, our brains probably can't even, like, fully sense or tell us, hey, I'm smelling something and my mate's like around the corner or something like that. It's so subtle that we just do it without even thinking because of evolution's kind of just like advanced us to a point where we don't really can see it that much. What do you think?
That's crazy that we can be attracted to someone just based on their smell alone. Alone?
Yeah.
What if that's not what I want my partner to look like? Like,
What you mean?
you know, what if, like, you just attracted to the smell because, you know, biologically that's how it's supposed to be, but they don't look like how I want my partner to look like.
Right. Well, it's more so like,
have you ever had that? Like, you smell something good, you turn around and it's like, oh, it's you.
right. Well, it's not like, I think what they mean is, like, it's not like just anybody smells good to you. It's like, it's that person you've been talking to, like, you've been dating them, you've been getting to know them, all this and that. Suddenly, their natural body odor or their natural scent that they give off, it's just a marker that your body just picks up on, and it just marks them as your mate. Yeah. So nobody else is going to be attracted to you like that person. You know, it's not like you're just walking and it's suddenly you're like, dang, that person smells good, and then you're attracted to them forever. No, it's a person you've been dating and you've been, spending time with like that.
Yeah, I could attest to that armpit smell. Like 5 lifts.
Or, just got out the gym, or, been sweating all day. It's just, it smells good. Even though they're like, no, I stink. I'm like, no, come here. Come here. Let me lay on you.
Need that.
Yes.
No, I understand that completely. Yeah, that armpit smell, like, I never even thought that was possible. I would like somebody's armpit smell. But one day I just took a whiff. I'm like, not bad.
I think it smells good to you.
Not bad. But somebody else would probably be like, get away from me.
Exactly. Oh my God, you stink. You're just like, aroma, come to me.
Mine.
Yes, exactly.
That's my favorite.
All right, let's get into the facial symmetries and all the body stuff. Facial symmetry and certain body ratios are universally attractive for reasons deeply rooted in evolutionary psychology. Facial symmetry, where both sides of the face match closely, is linked to genetic health. Our brains instinctively see symmetry as a sign of strong, resilient genes, which in evolutionary terms suggest better survival prospects for potential offspring. It's subtle, just like the scent thing, but we tend to be drawn to it without even realizing it, or realizing why. Body ratios also play a role. For example, the waist-to-hip ratio in women, or the shoulder-to-waist ratio in men, are often associated with fertility and strength. A classic example is the golden ratio in body proportions, which has been found to subconsciously appeal to us because of how it correlates with health and vitality. These preferences are hardwired over centuries, rooted in survival and reproductive success. From an evolutionary perspective, these traits serve as signals of health, fertility, and the ability to provide and protect. So, while modern attraction can feel emotional or mysterious, some of what draws us in has been there for a millennia, shaped by the instinct to choose a mate who offers the best chance of strong, healthy offspring. It's fascinating to see how biology and attraction are intertwined at such a deep level. Now, give me your thoughts. Like, what do you think about the whole facial symmetry and then waist-to-hip ratio in women and shoulder-to-waist ratio in men?
It's so funny because me and one of my guy friends were having this conversation at one point where he was saying, growing up, he always had a thing for girls with, the Coca-Cola body shape. Like, yes, just big everywhere. But as he grew up, because he is in the healthcare field, I can't pinpoint a specific one, but he is in it. And doing, like, fake surgery and stuff and seeing everything that comes together to make up these portions of our bodies, he was just like, we're so, what's the word? I don't want to say, what's the word?
We're so
It's like
accustomed.
we are accustomed, and then we hold it to such a high regard, but it's just something so little. Like, it's literally just fat cells. It's literally just nerves. It's literally just veins. It's just all these things connected together to make something look like that. But we're just looking on the outside, and we're so fascinated. Like, oh, if a girl does not have this body shape, she can't be the one for me.
Right.
So it's fascinating to see like how deep it goes. Like, it's not just by eye. It's stuff that we have seen from generation to generation. So I don't know. As I grew up, I stopped looking for stuff like that. As long as we are compatible.
Personality,
You let me be who I want to be.
you respect me.
You feel me? Like, so much more comes into love when you grow up, rather than is he 6'3"? Is he, playing football or basketball? Is he built like this? No. So much more came to me as I grew up. So I don't know. I don't look at that anymore.
What do you think about, like, okay, I can get with I understand the waist to hip ratio. I think they're trying to say, probably the more waist or hip that a woman has, it just shows that she's able to have a lot of kids. Because, it's like, if you have a wide hip or wide waist, more so, I think it's the waist, that means that, like everybody knows, a baby, their heads are the size of a football. Their bodies are the size of a football. So that's a lot to push out, So if your waist is wide, you won't have much issue pushing the baby out. If your waist is slimmer or something like that, or so you have a smaller waist, you're going to most likely have more issues with pushing them out. Like, they might get caught on your hip bone, and you might have some difficulties during child labor. Whereas, and then I guess, for the women who have wider hips, because that space, is easier to push out. And I think the hip, again, like I said, is the length. I guess that just means that you just will be able to give birth much more efficiently. The shorter the waist for men, I believe they're just talking about height. So, like, the taller the guy, the more attractive he seems to be. Like, his height shows his strength. If he's a tall guy, like he's 6 foot or more, he's gonna be a strong man. He's gonna be a strong mate, and that means that will make very strong, healthy children as well, because they're most likely gonna get that what's it called, DNA trait or something like that.
And sometimes just seeing how your partner is built can make you feel like protected more. It's like, don't play with me.
All right. Now, my preference in height for guys, my first was on the shorter side. He was about he was like 5'4" and a half, maybe 5'4" only. I'm 5'3" and a half, just so you guys have like a perspective on that height difference. It's not much, right? He was like, literally, I could just look right across, and he's just like, his eyes were right there on eye level, right? Current boyfriend, he's like, what, 6'4", 6'5", so he's a tall dude. So just compare him, I'm like a little baby to him, in height difference. Like, my shoulder is below his shoulder, and I feel like he's kind of set a standard for me, like a permanent standard. Like, I kind of just, I can't go back to short guys.
What changed?
I like the height.
Like, what does it do for you? Like, you feel more protected? You feel more...
Yeah, definitely. It's just like...
girly la like.
Yeah, like, I can just hold on to him. He'll drag me. Or he can like, put me on his back easily. Or, I don't know, do some bridal carry style with the fireman hold. I don't know. That's just me, though. I know there's a lot of women who date short guys. I dated a short guy my first time around because that was like my first relationship. I didn't have a preference, whereas, like,
or a standard.
Right, or standard, or preference. So then after, I was like, and I got to the second one, I'm like, well, dang, you just set the bar really high. And this is figuratively and literally as well.
Hella.
Yes. Metaphorically, everything. Everything.
You're a joke. You're a complete joke. No, I love that for you, though.
Yes.
I don't know. I used to be the same. I used to always say tall or no weight, but once I got older and I started realizing I want to get settled down, some of these things can't matter. And that was one for me.
It's definitely personality, though, for me. I think that is that number one? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it is number one.
You, literally.
Yeah. After that's looks. Definitely.
Heavy on that. Heavy on
Yes.
that. Here's a great quote from Dr. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist who has done extensive research on love and attraction. Romantic love is an obsession. It possesses you. You lose your sense of self. You can't stop thinking about another human being. Somebody is camping in your head, literally. It's a drive and it's tenacious. Dr. Fisher explains that romantic attraction isn't just a feeling, it's a primal drive rooted in our biology. Her research highlights how chemicals like dopamine and neuropinephrine
Yeah.
in the brain.
Norepinephrine.
Yes, perfect. In the brain triggers this sense of obsession, pushing us to seek out our partner and build lasting connections. What are your thoughts, girl?
Yes. Just yes. I believe that this attraction can definitely cause some kind of obsession of your partner. I can't stop thinking about mine.
Really?
I'm always wondering what's he up to. Is he okay? You know, everything like that. I just always in my head.
Would you say that is healthy?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Always try to have a life outside your partner, and that's definitely what I'm working on, and that's definitely what I have at this current moment in time, because you don't want to be completely attached to them like you're a leech or using them as a crutch. You got to be like, you got your life, they got theirs, but you are together, and you do things together, and you have a life together as well. What do you think?
That is true. I feel like I had to also get to that point, like at one point in our relationship, because I felt like I had given somebody so much power to like my happiness. Mm-hmm. So if he was gone and he didn't provide happiness that day, it's like my brain is just thinking like, oh, what is he doing? Is he doing this? No, that's not safe. That's not okay. So I definitely did the same thing you did. I went and got hobbies outside. I started doing things that serve me happiness more. Like I can give myself this happiness. I don't have to depend on anybody else for it. And yeah. But it's crazy it gets that deep. Like, why are we obsessed?
Oh, my first relationship, I tell you, I spent like every waking day with him. I wasn't in clubs, not for real, like I was like in one club, gospel choir, but I spent every time like hour with him. I was always in his room, he was always in mine. We never was like separated. And I feel like that definitely, like, you being around your partner 24/7 is gonna end up creating stress, because it's like now you're like always in each other's space. What I recommend is that people give each other space. Have a life outside your partner. Have a club. Join a club. Create a club. Make your friends. You don't need to have mutual friends. Make your own. Make your own friend group. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, they don't need to be in that same friend group. No. Make sure that you are biding your time and just have a life outside of that person, because they're always going to be there. And that's why I made that mistake. I didn't understand that my first time around. And I definitely can like cause the unnecessary stress. 'Cause you're like, damn, I've seen you all day. I just want to breathe.
Yes. And another downside of that is like when you're with your partner all day, sometimes they can confuse that as, okay, well, we're together all the time, so I don't have to do the romantic stuff anymore. I don't have to get cute for you. I don't have to dress up for you. I don't have to bring you flowers. We don't have to go on date nights because we're literally together every day. What more do you want to do? And girl, I had to take a step back. Like, no. Because, sometimes, let's say when the relationship first started, how you used to dress up when your boyfriend would call you on the phone. You're getting on that FaceTime call.
Yes.
Slick down, ready. But then after a while, you get comfortable.
Man, and then you wake up with the bedhead. Mm-hmm. You don't care how you look, and you just become very comfortable. You don't need to look all cutesy for that person.
Both of you guys get too comfortable, and then it's like everything starts going downhill from there. Mm-hmm. And that's the downfall of most relationships, guys. Do not get comfortable. Mm-hmm. Both sides.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, let's get into the psychology of attraction. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about is the halo effect and how it shapes our perception of people. This psychological phenomenon happens when we let one positive trait, like physical attractiveness, influence our overall impression of someone's personality. For instance, we might meet someone who's physically appealing and, without even realizing it, assume they're also kind, confident, or intelligent, even if we barely know them. This effect is rooted in our tendency to make quick judgments based on limited information. Our brains often take mental shortcuts, so if someone is, good looking, then we may unconsciously assign them other positive traits. This can impact romantic attraction by amplifying qualities what we find appealing and overlooking red flags that might come up as, if we were more objective. But here's the twist. While the halo effect can intensify attraction, it can also cloud our judgment. We may build an idealized version of someone in our minds, setting high expectations that don't always match reality. So, while it's natural to be influenced by looks, it's helpful to stay aware of how powerful and sometimes misleading the halo effect can be. What are your thoughts?
This is so bad, but I don't know why when reading this, the first thing that popped into my head was cheating, like when partners cheat. So, let me just start off like this. We're in a generation where we have a lot of options, just based on the fact alone that we have social media and we can see everybody in the whole wide world. Like, we're not just limited to cities and states. We can see literally all of God's creations. So, with those options and seeing beautiful, attractive people online or just in other states and stuff, we start thinking like, oh, if they're like this, they can be like this, they can do all these things, they're this person. They have not even told us they're these persons. We literally just create personalities in our head just based on how people look. And that's where we can come with this thing where it's called having the grass looking greener on the other side. So you might have your partner, which is an amazing person, and you just, no, let's go back to what we were just talking about being comfortable in your relationship. Let's say you guys are comfortable now, and you see another person, they look really great, they're dressed up, they're glammed up, and you just think, they're so amazing. Keep in mind, this is also how you saw your partner in the beginning when they were, fresh and new to your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just want to come back to the fact that the grass is not greener. You cannot base somebody off their looks. And another thing when it comes to friendships as well, I feel like a lot of people try to base people off friendships on how they look as well. Like, oh, if she's pretty, she might be, we could be best friends. No. If he's handsome, we can be husbands and wives. No. You have to get to know people at a deeper level. And us women, we also do this a lot where we meet guys and we're like, he's handsome. And he showed you this one little nice thing. And then you now have this, he can build a house for me. He can do this. He can do that. No.
Get me pregnant type stuff.
No.
No.
Let's slow it down.
There's way more to that than that person. Like, there's so much more that person needs to do before they become your forever partner. And that's where, just creating that thing in your mind about that person. And what did it say? It said something about we just kind of make an idealized version of someone in our minds. Don't do that. Because then you're expecting them to be that person, and you know what, that's not fair to you nor them. That is not fair to you. You're putting all that pressure on them to become let's say for guys, you're I want you to be my wifey, so I need you to cook, I need you to clean, I need you to do all these things, and I don't want you to be famous. I want you to be quiet. I don't want nobody to know about you. I want you to be to yourself. I don't want you to be known. And that person may not want that. But you're trying to force them to be that and fit into that role, and that's not fair to you nor that person. Or vice versa for women. We might be like, man, I want you to be a husband. I want you to do all these husband things. And what other things do we say? It's
basically called falling in love with potential.
Yes, falling in love with potential. You got to fall in love with the person you have right in front of you.
Yeah.
Because, hey, that's the person right in front of you. Now, eventually, they're going to grow into something else, or they may remain the same. But you cannot just you cannot romanticize the idea. Mm-hmm. Romanticize the now.
Literally, what you're seeing and what you're getting is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it might not be, because in that beginning, some people play games. They put on a persona that.
Oh my gosh! They'll tell you oh yeah, I believe in this. Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Or oh yeah, I like these things. And then suddenly, 3 months later, they're like, ha, psych, and you start and
play
you
that role anymore.
And then you start seeing the bullshit. You start seeing through the bullshit. Oh damn, so they lied to me just to get to you. I don't want to say in your panties.
Yeah.
or getting your pants. But some people will put on a persona just so that they can have you.
Yes.
And then you start seeing the real them, and then you're like, dang, now you kind of, either you're like, dang, like, do I leave now or do I stay?
And this is where we get tricked up with love a lot. Everybody, actually, this is where we get tricked up, because we created this fake persona from the beginning, and down the line, you didn't take your time to discern. You didn't take your time to,
Or
truly
talk.
listen to what they're telling you about themselves. See what they're showing you, not what you're making in your mind.
Which is why the talking stage is important in a lot of relationships. Now, the talking stage is, I wouldn't say I would recommend it for everybody. You know, it just depends on the person. But I do think it's good. Oh, it's like efficient. It does give you like that space to. It's a stage to get to know the person before you really get serious.
How effective would you say it is, though? Because there's sometimes you can know somebody for 6 years, and you meet the real them on year 6.
I don't know, man. It's like the luck of the draw. Like, either you get
Love
lucky
is
or
really
unlucky.
just a dice game.
It is. It is. It's just like you roll the dice and whatever you get. You may land on something bad. You may land on something good. It's, what's it, Russian roulette. It is Russian roulette. You don't know when you're going to get the bullet to the head.
But wait, you didn't give me your definition of love. We should have started there.
My definition of love. Ooh. Love is an attraction towards another person, whether they're a man or a woman. It is a very mysterious phenomenon. I'm not gonna lie. It's very mysterious, and it is very confusing. In modern day love, so much different from traditional love. Like, we have like polyamorous relationships or open relationships, or a lot of trends going on with the baby mama stuff and everything. And we're gonna get into all of that later.
Yes.
But love is a beautiful thing. It can be a beautiful thing. You just gotta really put in effort. It cannot be one-sided. It's a two-man team. It is not one person. If it is one person, it's not a relationship. You just need to get that through your head right now. A relationship's not just one person doing all the damn work. It is both of y'all putting in effort. If you both aren't putting in effort, or one person's putting in effort, then y'all shouldn't be in a relationship. Point blank in a period.
Hello.
But love
Love is love.
Love is love, and it is so beautiful, and it's such a good feeling. And I do wish that for everybody out there, to find that one person you'll spend the rest of your life with, because there's no other feeling like it.
It is beautiful.
It's so beautiful, especially when you start, if you do decide to have children, those children are a mix of you, literally.
Chemical mix.
Literally. And that is amazing in of itself, the blessing of having a child.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that.
What do you think about that, your definition of love?
Ooh, I think you hit the nail. I would say mine now is like, again, love still is unexplainable, but it is, to me, respect. It is intention. It is no confusion. Because if there should be no gray lines in love, y'all. Because if there is, it's not love. Somebody's playing you. It should be kind. And it should be patient. Ooh, it's patient. It's forgiving.
There should be respect, loyalty.
Love is very forgiving, because, girl, you are going to forgive.
Oh, yeah. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Don't think that you are. Don't think that you got some God complex and you are God, because you are not.
Thank you.
Okay, we are human beings, and we have flaws. Everybody has a flaw. And you just got to understand that and just be like, everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days. Yes. I love that. Guys, write below what you guys think love is in your words, because I don't think anybody has a perfect definition of, like, love.
But how do you personally define it?
That was mine. Like, it has to be those things. Love is respect. Love is intention. Love is no confusion.
Love is loyalty. No infertility at all. Love is...
That's a hard question, because do you feel like somebody can cheat on you and love you?
How are you gonna hurt someone that you love? I don't think that's love.
Do that every day.
That's true. But it's like, can you really love somebody and then go and have sex with somebody else or flirt with somebody else? Is that really love? do you even really truly love that person?
The action was not love.
Mm.
I don't know.
It's very.
We're gonna get into that.
That's why I said love is very complex.
It's so confusing, y'all. We can't. There's not a one definition for love.
Mm-hmm.
The one we read though was something.
Okay.
Very spot on. Okay, guys, we're diving into the world of attachment styles and how they shape our adult relationships. Attachment theory, originally developed by the psychologist John Bowlby, explains how the bonds we form with our early caregivers impact the way we connect with others later in life. There are 4 main attachment styles: secure, anxious, avoidant, and fearful avoidant. And each one affects not only how we relate to others, but who we feel drawn to. People with a secure attachment style tend to form stable, trusting relationships. They grew up with caregivers who provided consistent support and reassurance. So they're often attracted to partners who can reciprocate this trust and emotional closeness. On the other hand, those with an anxious attachment style might have had caregivers who were unpredictable or inconsistent. As adults, they may feel drawn to partners who spark those same highs and lows, even if it sometimes creates insecurity or stress. Avoidant types who may have had distant or unavailable caregivers often seek independence and are attracted to partners who give them space. But this can sometimes make forming deep emotional connections a challenge. Finally, fearful avoidant attachment combines aspects of both anxious and avoidant styles, making attraction complex. They're often pulled between craving connection and fearing it. Understanding our attachment styles help us recognize why we're attached to certain people and can guide us towards healthier relationship choices. It's a powerful insight into the connection between our earliest relationships and our romantic lives today. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, for one thing, I think I have a mix of 2 attachment styles. I definitely have that secure attachment style because, I did grow up with 2 parents in my lives. They were married for my whole life, and they were very, very supportive of me as a person and everything that I did. And they were supportive of my siblings as well. They were very loving parents, and they were always there. So, because of them, I definitely do prefer having a partner who can also reciprocate trust and also is close to me in an emotional sense. Someone I can rely on. But I definitely have that fearful avoidant attachment, and that's based off of like my friendships in grade school. I didn't have a lot of friends. I got bullied a lot because, I have ADHD. Children are so cruel. And they were like, wow, you're the weird girl. They didn't understand me. They couldn't be friends with me because they just couldn't. So because of that, I craved friendship. I craved relationships. I craved connections. I wanted it. But at the same time, I feared it because I've had friends and they stabbed me in the back. They did something very terrible. They betrayed me. I've been in relationships where I have been stabbed in the back or I was betrayed, and that has caused me to lose trust in people. And I crave that connection, but at the same time I fear it because I just don't want to get hurt again. Because getting hurt is so terrible. It's a terrible feeling. What do you think?
Dang, I did not know you went through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry. People can be actually very cruel growing up, even when you're grown up. It's just, I don't know.
And that
you can
trauma,
blame that on how they were raised as well.
Yeah, and that trauma can stick with a child all the way to adulthood, and yeah, and it shows.
Guys, please raise your kids to be better people.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts from young.
Be kind too.
It's literally free.
It doesn't take much to be kind to somebody who's different from you, because we're all different. Mm-hmm. There have been so many times where I've been kind to somebody who had a learning disability or a physical disability, and it makes their day. It really does. You have no idea. They could be having a really bad day, and your kindness takes them so far.
And I hate how we try to define normalcy. Like, everybody is kind of unique in their own way. We cannot try to fit everybody into one box. So you can love people for who they are, and it's not going to take anything away from you, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. But as for me, I'm still kind of lost on mine because I am fearful avoidant, but I'm trying to change it to be more secure, which comes into play when I was talking about, trying to find my own hobbies, not being fully reliant on my partner to make me happy or keep me safe. I could do those things on my own. So I would say I'm reaching the point of being secure now. But in the past, I was fearful avoidant, and it kind of creeps up sometimes. Like it's still there a little bit, but I suppress it. And I would say that comes from growing up kind of unstable. Like, I was everywhere as a child. Like, I was in Cameroon, I was in America, I was in different states, different houses, just never in one place. And then also growing up without a father. Like, I didn't know who my father was until high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, in my brain growing up, I just never saw, not that I didn't see men as something to respect, but I just didn't see them as something to have or keep. Like, I didn't really care for them that much. Like, I knew I would want to get into a relationship, but I just never knew I would get married or want to get married. Because I didn't see them as something to, like, keep in my life, just off of the fact of not seeing my father in my life. Like, it didn't matter to me. So once I got into a real serious relationship, it was hard to now, train my brain to, like, okay, we are keeping this one. But how do we keep them? Because you can't keep the same habits you had in the past. Like, you can't keep, treating people like they're disposable. So you actually have to really fix yourself and settle down. So it took a lot.
It comes with discipline as well, self-discipline.
Intentions as well. Because a lot of people are not intentional. Like, they can want you, but they don't want to put the work in to keep you. So, that goes into, again, the type of relationships you're in. Just choose somebody that can bring that side out of you. And, yeah, they can help you change your toxic ways.
Yes.
Because also growing up, like, in arguments and relationships, I kid you not, I'm the type to want to walk away and then come back maybe a week later and talk to you. Like, if I'm stressed or anxious or anything, I just don't talk. Like, that's my thing. I don't talk, and I just let stuff pass by, and then I come back when I'm feeling better. And I realized I couldn't do that in a relationship because it's like one person that's ready to fix the situation then and there, move past it, and then there's me that's like, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to see you. You have to wait for me to come back, and then we can talk about it.
All right. And sometimes it's okay to step back and breathe and take a breathe and come back and fix the situation. Other times, you need to fix it right then and there.
Yeah.
But ignoring your partner and not communicating and y'all need to take some space, that's not okay. You should not be doing that.
Yeah. That was another thing I had to learn from him. Like, I have to communicate the fact that, okay, I need this amount of time. We had to even make, like, a certain amount of time. Like, okay, I give you 2 days to be mad about it. Then we talk about it. And ever since then, he kind of knows what's coming up. So it's not like I'm leaving him in the blind or something. So, yeah.
And that comes with maturity as well.
Yeah.
All right. So what is the role of proximity and familiarity in attraction? There's something called the mere exposure effect, a psychological phenomenon where we tend to develop a preference for things simply because we are exposed to them often. This applies to people too. The more we see someone, even casually, the more likely we are to feel comfortable around them and, over time, find them attractive. Proximity works in a similar way. When we're frequently near someone, whether it's a coworker, a classmate, or even a neighbor, the chances of forming a connection increase. Proximity provides more opportunities for interactions, shared experiences, and ultimately, bonding moments. This constant exposure builds a sense of familiarity, and as we know, people often feel drawn to what feels familiar. Interestingly, familiarity doesn't just spark attraction, it can also strengthen bonds by creating a sense of ease and security. We are wired to trust what we recognize, so simply being around someone often can make us feel closer to them. While we might think attraction is based on big romantic moments, sometimes it's really just about being in the same space and allowing that connection to grow naturally. What are your thoughts?
Oh my goodness.
I got that. Like, bro, like my current boyfriend and I now, we don't need to, like, go on big, expensive dates and, spend a lot of money on a dinner or things like that. We could just be in the room, in the bed, and just lay there. And we could be on our phones. One of us could be watching YouTube, and the other one could be on their phone. I could be on my laptop. We're just laying there chilling. And we consider that spending time together. And kind of in this day and time, I can see why, because we're so attached to our phones. But we don't have to do all these big extravagant things to say we're spending time, you know. And a lot of the times when we do go out and spend time together, we don't actually call it dates. That's just us spending time. Mm-hmm. We're just hanging out, you know. Then we kind of like decide whether something's gonna be a date, and it's gonna be like really special, holds a lot more meaning than just hanging out. But other than that, though, I feel like definitely with friendships too. If I spend a lot of time with you, I'm going to feel more comfortable around you, and you're gonna start seeing that more extroverted side of me. Because I'm an ambivert, but I am introverted when I first meet you, and then I get extroverted over time.
Seem like really the same. Mm-hmm. I was crying to my aunt about that this summer because growing up and starting to see that, okay, everybody has their own lives to live outside of school, and they have work and they have families, and you guys live in separate states or cities. Adulthood kind of hit me so hard because friendship wise, being in college and being on the same campus and just, let's say we live in clusters or something, I could easily go to my homegirl's room right across the street and just, we could be together the whole day. But then now that everybody's in like their own different spaces, I started feeling like, dang, where's my friends? Like, what happened? But I had to realize, okay, everybody has their own lives to live now. It's also because we're not in the same space as we used to be, where it's like, okay, I could literally walk across the street and see you. I can come back from class and see you. So, I don't know. It's so weird that that's how our brain wires to think of things. Like, we're still close. It's just the fact my brain was just feeling so hurt because feeling like, oh, we're not friends anymore, but we just don't live close anymore. We just can't see each other as often. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's hurtful.
Yes.
Relationship-wise, I don't know. I feel like me and my partner made it work perfectly because we started off long distance. So we trained our brains to kind of, we don't need to be next to each other to feel love. Like, when we get on that phone, there's 50,000 things to talk about.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's really, really good, actually.
In person is a bonus.
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's unpack the age-old question: do opposites really attract, or are we drawn to people who are similar to us? There's a lot of debate around this, but science suggests it's not so clear-cut. Studies show that we're often attracted to people who share our interests, values, and even personality traits. Similarities create a sense of understanding and connection, and being with someone who gets us can make us feel more comfortable and accepted. But on the flip side, there's also evidence that opposites can attract, especially when it comes to traits that complement each other. For example, someone who's more outgoing might feel drawn to a partner who's laid back, creating balance in the relationship. These complementary differences can make a partnership feel dynamic and exciting. Ultimately, both similarities and differences play a role in attraction. Similarities can lay a foundation of trust and mutual understanding, while differences can add spark and growth. Finding the right balance often depends on what each person values most, whether it's shared goals or the thrill of contrast. So, whether you're dating someone who mirrors your personality or brings a different energy, both approaches have their own unique strengths. What are your thoughts?
In my experience, I've actually experienced both worlds. First relationship, it was same people, introvert, and that worked. Current relationship, it's mostly extroverted, introvert, and so we're opposites. And I do believe it's opposites can attract, because if you're with an extroverted partner and you're like naturally introverted, that can help kind of bring you out of your shell and allow you to grow socially and be able to make your own friends and just make more friends and just be out there in the world socially. However, I do believe introvert relationships or extrovert relationships can also work as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything wrong with that too.
Like you said, love, you can't explain it because literally everything can work in love, and some things can't work. You just have to find your own person and your own armpit to sniff on.
Yes.
Because I don't know. I thought, like, okay, getting with my partner, I thought he was introverted, just like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we both have our own definitions of introverts and extroverts because he thinks I'm an extrovert, but I'm really an introvert. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my definition of me is like people know me, but I don't talk to all those people
Mm-hmm.
every day. Like, I just know them. So for him, he knows everybody, and he doesn't talk to them every day, but he's outside
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, cause my introvert does not match up with his extrovert, and we had to like have several conversations about that because to me, I don't know. Sometimes when I see my partner, I don't want you to be outside like that. I don't know. In a relationship, me personally, I don't.
And she makes a good point. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the opposites don't work.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe being too similar doesn't work either. Maybe you need someone who's different from you to balance you out. Maybe you too crazy. Maybe you need someone chill to chill you out too. Cause you a party animal. You're always out getting drunk or high,
Yes.
and you just need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we just said. Like, literally, your partner can make you change your ways as well. Like, you might have been thinking life was great and groovy, but somebody comes around and shows you, like, no, that's not okay. And you start looking back and reflecting, like, okay, that's not okay.
And that's why every relationship is so beautiful in their own unique ways. Because everyone is going through something differently, and they all work in their own ways. And that's why I tell you guys, and we should make this a topic. Don't look at other people and other couples and be like comparing and stuff. You should not be comparing yourself to somebody else.
No.
Because comparing is actually gonna cause stress too. Because you're like, well, why can't we be like them? Why can't you be like him? Why can't you be like her? And it's just like, no, y'all are your own people. You are your own relationship. Stop comparing. Every relationship's different.
Thank you.
Okay.
I love that.
Social and cultural factors. Okay, so we're going to explore how cultural standards of beauty shape our perceptions of attractiveness. This is a big one in today's time. What we find appealing is often deeply influenced by societal norms, which can vary dramatically from one culture to another. For example, in some societies, full figures may be celebrated as a sign of health and prosperity, while in others, slimness might be seen as the ideal. These standards are often perpetuated by media, fashion, and even social media platforms. The images we consume play a significant role in shaping our ideas of beauty, creating trends that can shift over time. For instance, think about the changing ideals over the decades, from the curvaceous figures celebrated in the 1950s to the more athletic body types favored in recent years. Cultural beauty standards can also affect self-esteem and body image. People often feel pressure to conform to these ideals, which can lead to a host of issues, including anxiety, depression, or disordered eating. It's essential to recognize that beauty is subjective and shaped by numerous factors, including ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and personal experiences. Moreover, as we continue to embrace diversity and inclusivity, the definitions of beauty are expanding. Movements that challenge traditional norms are encouraging people to appreciate various forms of beauty, from different body types to unique facial features. This shift highlights that attractiveness isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. It's a rich tapestry shaped by culture, experience, and individual preference. So, as we navigate our relationships, let's remember to celebrate the beauty and diversity and challenge narrow standards that can often dominate our perceptions.
Guys. I have to say it. I'm glad we spoke on this because BBLs are getting out of hand. The face changes are getting out of hand. You guys, there's no reason we all want to look like one person. There's no reason we want to look like Jada Wada. There's no reason we want to look like Kim Kardashian. We were all made uniquely for a purpose, and there is somebody out there that's going to love you exactly how you were created.
Yes. And you don't need to change yourself for somebody else.
Thank you.
Okay? You don't need to stop eating and slim down because your boyfriend or your girlfriend told you you're fat. Yo, what's up? Hey. You don't need to bulk up or go to the gym and get your butt looking big because your boyfriend or your girlfriend or more so like your boyfriend tells you like, oh, I want you to have a bigger butt. And for guys, your girlfriend tells you, I want you to have abs, I want you to have biceps, I need you to go lift some weights. you are beautiful in your own unique way. And the people out there with the freckles and the dimples and all these all the pimples and the things like that, you are beautiful in your own way.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't find you beautiful, don't worry. There's going to be someone else out there that's going to find you beautiful. But you are beautiful. And don't listen to nobody else when they tell you otherwise.
And aside from that as well, like there's some people that reserve themselves from love just because they want to get to this certain physical look before they feel like they're, worthy of love. No, guys, you don't have to be like that. I promise you, you don't. You don't have to look like Jada later. Literally, your mom and your dad, they're perfect with your genes. Please. Look on yourself, love on yourself, and just look at God's creation. Think of the time it took for him to create you. Whether it's a mole on your face, it's gaps, it's like your eyebrows are crooked, like something. Just think about what God did just to give you that. I don't know. That's my input. That's how I see it. Well, guys, let's talk about the media's influence. So, what is the media's influence on our perception of attraction? From movies to social media to advertisements, the images and messages we encounter daily can create unrealistic standards and shape how we see ourselves and others. Let's start with movies. Hollywood often promotes a narrow definition of beauty, showcasing characters that fit a specific mold. Think perfect skin, ideal body shapes, and flawless hair. These portrayals can set unattainable standards for attractiveness, leading us to compare ourselves to these idealized versions of beauty. It's important to remember that these portrayals are often the result of extensive makeup, lighting, and editing, far from reality. Social media plays a massive role too. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok are filled with curated images that highlight a seemingly perfect lifestyle. Influencers often showcase their lives in ways that make it look effortless to achieve those ideal looks and lifestyles. This can create pressure to conform to these standards, pushing people to alter their appearance, whether through makeup, filters, or even cosmetic procedures, in pursuit of that Instagram-worthy ideal. Advertisements are another significant factor, often depicting unattainable, beautiful beauty ideals to sell products. They utilize strategic marketing techniques to associate certain products with beauty, success, and desirability, further embedding these unrealistic standards into our minds. The result? A constant reminder that many of us might feel we fall short of these ideals. It's crucial to recognize that these media influencers can significantly affect our self-esteem and body image. However, there's a growing movement towards authenticity and body positivity, encouraging people to embrace their unique features and challenge traditional beauty standards. As we consume media, let's strive to be critical of what we see, seeking out diverse representations of beauty, and celebrating the richness of our differences. What are your thoughts?
I don't have really much to say on this because it's kind of similar to the recent topic, right? I'll just say don't try to conform yourself to media. It's a lot of things are unrealistic, and you don't need to try to conform yourself to media or society's beliefs and things because it's not healthy to do that, honestly.
And I would say another thing most people should focus on is their whys. Like, why am I doing what I'm doing, or why is this what I want? Because I know it was times where a lot of girls would be like, give me 1,500 roses, long stem, red, pink. Why do you want that? Do you want it because you genuinely, when you see those roses, it's going to make your whole life? Or are you looking for those roses to post on Instagram and show people that you're happy? Why? What's your why in everything you do? Whether it's to go start a new job that's going to get you more money. Why? More money is nice, but think about the things that go behind that role as well. Like, why would you conform to that? So, yes.
All right, let's discuss the crucial roles of timing and vulnerability in attraction. It's fascinating how much our life circumstances and emotional readiness can influence who we feel drawn to and when. First, let's talk about timing. Life is a series of phases, and each phase comes with its own challenges and opportunities. Sometimes we meet someone who feels like the perfect match, but if we're not in a place to truly connect, Whether due to personal issues, career demands, or previous relationships, we might miss out on that connection. Timing can be about being in the right mindset, in the right situation, or even just being at a similar stage in life. For example, meeting someone during a period of personal growth can lead to deeper connections compared to a time of turmoil or instability. Emotional availability is another key factor. It's not just about being physically present, it's about being open and willing to engage on a deeper level. If someone is emotionally unavailable, perhaps due to past trauma or fear of intimacy, they might not be able to reciprocate attraction, no matter how strong the chemistry is. Vulnerability plays a big role here. It requires courage to open up and share our true selves, but that openness is often what fosters genuine connections. When both individuals are in a place of vulnerability, they can create a safe space to explore their feelings. This can lead to a deeper bond that goes beyond physical attraction as both partners feel seen and understood. In essence, attraction isn't just about chemistry, it's also about the right timing and the willingness to be vulnerable. As we navigate our relationships, let's pay attention to where we are emotionally and recognize how our circumstances shape our connections with others. Sometimes the right person at the wrong time can lead to missed opportunities, but with an awareness, right, we can better align our readiness for love. And I don't know. What are your thoughts? I feel like you can meet someone during a time of turmoil and stuff, but they might bring you out of the darkness and into the light. And, sometimes like you may be going through something, but maybe waiting on that opportunity to meet somebody who you can love, you might want to just go ahead and do it instead of waiting, because you might miss out on an opportunity and they may find someone else.
Yes. I like that you touched on that, because a lot of people say that, like, oh, I'm going through so much right now, I got so much to focus on, I can't be in love, like relationship should be the last of my worries. But no, we were all made to be with somebody. We all need a partner. Life is not to be done on our own. So stop holding yourself back from being loved and giving love. Like, it's not that much work. Well, it is work. I'm not saying that. But it's not, as painful as you try to make it seem. Like, no. Just let somebody love you.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Let's take those key takeaways and get into it. And music. I'm going to go ahead and find that outro music. Key takeaways. The science of attraction extends far beyond physical traits, encompassing a complex interplay of emotional, psychological, and environmental factors. While physical appearance can initially draw us to someone, deeper connections are often built on various influences.
Emotionally, attachment styles play a significant role in who we are attracted to and how we connect. Our early relationships with caregivers shape our ability to form bonds, influencing our preference and partners. Vulnerability and emotional availability are also crucial. Being open and ready to share our true selves fosters deep connections.
Psychologically, factors like the halo effect lead us to associate physical attractiveness with positive personality traits, shaping our perceptions and judgments of others. Additionally, concepts such as the mere exposure effect highlight how familiarity can enhance attraction, emphasizing the importance of shared experiences and proximity.
Environmentally, societal and cultural norms dictate standards of beauty, influenced by media representations that often set unrealistic ideals. Timing and life circumstances further affect attraction. Being in the right emotional space can make all the differences in whether we connect with someone.
In essence, attraction is a multifaceted phenomenon, influenced by a combination of biological, emotional, psychological, and environmental factors, all working together to create meaningful connections that go well beyond mere physical appearance.
Today, we encourage you guys to reflect on what attracts you to others and how that shapes your relationships.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today as we explore the fascinating science of attraction. Next episode, we'll dive into a critical topic, healthy connections versus toxic cycles. We'll discuss the signs of healthy relationships and how to recognize and break free from toxic patterns that can harm our emotional well-being. It's going to be an eye-opening conversation you won't want to miss. As always, thank you for tuning in. I'm Logan.
And I'm Lauren.
Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with anyone who might find it helpful. We look forward to seeing you next time on Love Unfiltered.